Hello, everyone. I started my Facebook Live video, and then I guess the camera didn't like me, and it cut me off. All right. And God, I was going on a roll there so I'm going to start again. And why am I doing this? On January 31st. All right. Next day is February 1st, tomorrow. And that's the start of the new month. And some of you will be taking the exam. So obviously, if you're taking it tomorrow, what I'm going to say probably will not help you. But if you're going to take this over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to give you advice that I believe will make the difference between you passing and you failing. And that advice is, we have a product that we've had for 33, 34 years, and that is the Jaeger CPA Review CRAM course. Why is it so good? Why does it work? Well, first of all right, it's been proven. We have books and books of testimonials telling people, Phil, it does exactly what you told us it does, all right? Because right before the end of studying, today, what people now do based on reading these forums, these bloggers, all right, just keep doing questions, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I meet with the AICPA. I've told you that. I don't want to just keep saying the same thing. And I hear it directly from the Director of Examinations and the people at the AICPA Examination Division. And they say, tell the people not to worry about doing the old multiple choice questions, because these old multiple choice questions are released to everybody who wants to lease them, pay the leasing fee. We pay a leasing fee like everyone else does. All right. But these are based on questions on the old exams. The exams before there were the blueprint. And personally, a lot of them are very simple, and they really don't show you what the present questions are really like. So the question is, how do you avoid worrying about, am I studying the right material? And the answer is, if you know the concepts, you don't have to worry about whether you're studying the right material or not. All right. Now, you say, how do I know if I'm studying the concepts? And you're probably getting sick of Phil Jaeger saying this, all right? You follow the blueprints, the AICPA blueprints, and our books, our materials follow that, all right? Now, this is what you do. You want to get those extra 5 to 10 points you normally wouldn't get, all right? Go to the Jaeger CPA Review website, order the CRAM course, and it comes with the PDF files, all right? You can print them off. The PDF files. You can print them off indefinitely, all right? The CRAM is for 6 months. You don't need a CRAM for more than 6 months, all right? Because if you do the right thing and you use them, you'll add those 5 points, and you're not going to keep using the CRAM. You know, people do this. They always say, what happens if I don't pass? What happens if I don't pass? That is the most negative approach I ever heard. The answer is, if you do the right thing, you will pass. And you're not going to have to sit there and say, well, what happens if I fail? What happens if I fail? Hey, if you keep saying, what happens if I fail enough, you will fail. But you go in there and you say, I know the concepts. And how do I know that? Well, if this is financial accounting, I would start with the first CRAM, not the first CRAM. I would start the first blueprint and see what that blueprint says. And ask yourself, do I know what's in that information? Now, obviously, our book is going to give you all the information under each blueprint you have to know. But, all right, just read the blueprint, all right? And it says you have to know the journal entries for the different inventory costing methods, all right? Well, say to yourself, all right, what are these journal entries if it's LIFO perpetual, FIFO perpetual, all right? Just say, do I know the entries? And say them out loud. You debit this, you credit that. If it's LIFO perpetual, when you buy the inventory, you debit the inventory account. If it's LIFO periodic, you debit what? The purchase account. Then you look at the book and you say, oh, I know it. All right. If it comes down to dollar value LIFO, all right, well, you say to yourself, how would I do dollar value LIFO if they gave me a question? And just go through it. You know, go through the different things and say, well, I'm going to take the ending inventory at the end of the year, All right, first of all, I'm going to come up with the base year. Then I'll take the ending inventory the next year, divide by the price index, and convert that second year to base year dollars. And if there's an increase in base year dollars, I'll add a layer. So just go through this in your mind to say, I know how to do this if they ask me this. And that's how you know it. Now, I grant you, there is a lot of memorization, all right? Because, yeah, if you understand certain things, no problem, all right? There's memorization in everything. But, all right, what happens is this. People who study a course, material, they go over everything, all right? When it comes right to the exam, they forget everything they went over in the beginning. You're going to forget the beginning blueprints. You're going to forget what was in those beginning blueprints and what you have to know for those blueprints. So, what are you going to do, all right? You get the CRAM, and you listen to the CRAM, and you copy the PDF files with that subject, all right? And you'll see that I'm lecturing, and I'm telling you where I am in the book, all right, following the blueprints. The answer to this is twofold. One, do the CRAM. It'll review everything you went over from the beginning to the end, all right? And secondly, all right, what it'll do is it'll follow the blueprints. And if you go over every blueprint and you're familiar with the information within that blueprint, you have to be able to pass that exam because the AICPA doesn't ask you anything other than what's in the blueprint, all right? And because they're telling you, they're giving it to you on a platter, what's on this exam. I mean, gee, I wish they did that when I took the exam, all right? But they're giving it to you, all right? So don't sit there and worry about all these multiple choice and all these simulations you got to practice. If you know the material, all right, you just fit them into a simulation. You fit them into a multiple choice. And that's the whole thing. When I see a question on the exam, and by the way, there are a few released multiple choice they give us, all right, every year, I have to come up with the answers and why it's A, B, because they don't tell us why it's A versus why it's B. They just tell us the answer is C. So we have to write the reasons why the other ones are incorrect and why the correct one is correct. And for somehow, knowing the concept itself, I can read that question and I am able to say, well, I know I have to know this and that, and I can pull out the stuff that's not relevant to the issue dealing with the concept in the question. And that's what you have to get down to. Now, will you ever know it as well as I do? And the answer is no, not because I'm a genius. It's because you have not taught CPA review as long as I have. If you teach CPA review for as number of years that I have, I promise you, you will have no problem compared to anybody else. But the nice thing is, everyone else taking that exam also has not taught CPA review. So, you know, it's a pretty even, you know, competitive edge, all right? No one has a competitive edge, in fact, all right? I would have a competitive edge if I was going in and taking the exam against everyone else because I've done this for 40 years. But that's what you don't have to worry about. But you just have to worry. I went through each blueprint. I know what's in that blueprint. I know the material. I know the journal entries. And you can feel very comfortable that you have a real good chance of passing. I think I've said enough. I don't want to bore you to death, all right? Once again, you have any questions, please, all right, call me, all right? You can get me, call our number, 301-874-4900, 301-874-4900, and wait until you hear. If you want to talk to Phil, press this extension, and I will discuss whatever you want to discuss. All right, I am available. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I show my passion more than anything. I'm still in this business, all right, because I want to help people pass this exam, all right? I took a course years ago that didn't help me pass the exam. I basically had to do it on my own, all right? Well, I want to make up for the fact that that course didn't teach me a thing, all right? So being that I have the knowledge, the years of experience, whatever I can do to help a student, I will do. It gives me tremendous satisfaction. That's why I still do this, all right? I do it because it's satisfaction. People probably say, oh yeah, you're doing it for the money and only the money. No, I don't do it for the money, you know, not at this point in my life, believe me. All right. I do it because I still enjoy talking to people. I still enjoy it when someone says, thank you. You made a difference in my life. That's the most important thing to me now at this point in my life. And I hope I can hear from you one day. I passed the CPA exam and now I'm a CPA and your life will change. I promise it'll change. Okay? Take care, everyone. Have a pleasant evening. If you're taking the exam, best of luck. And as I always say, give them the best you can. Take care.